Imagine yourself at the beach. Maybe you're swimming in the ocean, making a sandcastle, or relaxing under an umbrella. Now, can you describe all of that in Espanol?
By the end of this episode, amigos, you'll be able to describe your favorite beach activities in Spanish, from sunbathing to surfing, all as a beginner Spanish speaker. Vamos, Spanglish amigos, let's do it.
Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola, amigos. I'm Val, your experienced Spanish teacher and co-host from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
We'll help you get confident listening and speaking beginner Spanish with content you can actually use in real-life conversations.
Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on socials at Spanglish_Friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos.
Vamos a la playa. Bienvenidos, Spanglish friends. And as always, welcome back. If you're joining us and you're a part of this regular community, if this is your first time joining us, welcome to our global community of beginner Spanish learners.
Bienvenidos, amigos, a nuestro episodio 55. Wow, 55 episodes of you pressing play and choosing to learn Spanish with us every week. Thank you so much. We love to be part of your Spanish journey.
100% Profe Val. And today's episode is a super fun one because we're talking about la playa, the beach, and the activities that you might get up to there.
Exactamente. La playa. That is a very big part of life in many Spanish-speaking countries. And it's also a very great topic to learn as a beginner Spanish speaker, right? So today in this episode, we want to teach you all the phrases, vocabulary, words you need to start talking about the activities you like to do maybe with your family or with your friends from scratch.
That's right. And as always, we're keeping things super simple and bite-sized with 3 learning goals for this episode. So this episode, first, you'll learn some key vocab about the beach. Like how do you say things like the beach, the sea, bathing suits, all the vocab to do with going to the beach. Next, you'll learn some useful verbs. These are some action words for you to describe what activities you do at the beach, like swimming, sunbathing, surfing, having a picnic, and making sandcastles. Finally, you'll learn to answer a common beginner question, which is, ¿Qué haces en la playa? What do you do at the beach? You'll be able to do all of this and have all this knowledge in just 10 minutes.
Exactamente. This is our promise. And as always, como siempre, amigos, we love to put everything into practice with una conversación pequeña, with a little conversation. So you can listen actively all these words, how they are going to play in real life context. Here, Em and I, we are going to talk and share our plans and the things we like to do at the beach.
Exactamente. And remember, friends, don't worry if you don't understand every single word in this conversation. It's just about starting to recognize words that you're familiar with to prove to yourself that your Spanish listening skills are improving over time. Woohoo! Are you ready, Profe Val, to go to the playa, to the beach?
Sí, amiga. Vamos a la playa. Comencemos. Voy a ir a la playa este fin de semana.
Genial, Val. ¿Qué te gusta hacer normalmente en la playa?
Me gusta nadar en el mar y tomar el sol en la arena, normalmente con una sombrilla, porque hace mucho sol.
Ah, qué relajante. Suena como un día perfecto.
A veces también hago snorkel y me encanta ver muchos peces.
A mí me gusta surfear o hacer un picnic con mi familia y a veces mis sobrinos y yo hacemos castillos de arena.
¡Qué interesante! Perfecto.
Perfecto, amigos. In that short conversation, Profe Val and I just talked about what we like to do at the beach. You might have heard some words like playa, mar, arena, and sombrilla. We also use verbs like nadar, tomar el sol, surfear, hacer castillos de arena. We're going to break all of this down.
Exactamente. And now the next step is to break everything down step by step so you can understand that top to tail.
Let's do it. Let's start with some essential beach vocab you need to know. Firstly is la playa or la playa, as I was saying it before with an Argentinian accent. That means the beach. El mar means the sea.
Exacto. Tenemos la playa y el mar. Now we can also learn la arena. La arena means the sand. And sombrilla. La sombrilla means the beach umbrella.
And of course, if you go surfing or swimming, you're going to need to be wearing un traje de baño. Traje de baño literally means the suit of bathing in Spanish, aka your bathing suit, your swimsuit.
Now, in summary, to cement all this new vocabulary in mind, we have la playa, the beach, el mar, the sea, la arena, the sand, la sombrilla, the beach umbrella, and el traje de baño, the swimsuit.
Awesome. Now let's put some sentences together now with action words, those doing words, our verbs, so we can combine them with those new beach items we've just learnt.
The first one, and probably the most common, is nadar. Nadar is an action word. It's a verb, which means to swim. So combining this in a sentence, for example, you could say, me gusta nadar en el mar. I like to swim in the sea.
That's right. You can also hacer snorkel. Hacer snorkel. That means to go snorkeling, to literally do snorkeling. You could say ir a bucear también, which is I like to snorkel as well. That's the more formal, traditional Spanish way. But you'll see in a lot of Spanish-speaking countries, they'll literally say hacer snorkel, using the sort of Anglicized word there. So you can say voy a bucear, I'm going to go snorkeling, or me gusta hacer snorkel.
Here we combine the Spanglish.
That is true Spanglish.
You might also like to say surfear, which means to surf. You could say me gusta surfear. I like to surf, or I like surfing.
That's right. But if you prefer to be on land, taking in the sun, you might say tomar el sol. Tomar el sol means to sunbathe, to literally take in the sun in Spanish. So you could say, me gusta tomar el sol.
Finally, when you're with your family or friends, maybe you like to have a picnic, right? To say this in Spanish, we say hacer un picnic. For example, me gusta hacer un picnic con mi familia. I like to have a picnic with my family. Or me gusta hacer un picnic con mis amigos. I like to have a picnic with my friends. But literally, hacer un picnic means like to make the picnic, we say in Spanish.
You make the picnic, yes. And I want to add in one final one as well, Val, for people who have kids, or maybe they're just adults who want to play in the sand as well. And that is to make sandcastles, castillos de arena. Remember, arena is sand. Castillos means castles. So if you want to make sandcastles, you'd say hacer, to make, as Val said, castillos de arena. Me gusta hacer castillos de arena con mis sobrinos. I said that in our mini conversation. I like to make sandcastle with my nephews.
Super divertido. Very fun. And we also can't forget about the sea animals, which I mentioned one in our mini conversation, which are peces. Peces means fish, and we want to cover more sea animals in our next episodes.
So already just with these new verbs and some of the new vocab, you can put simple sentences together about your time at the beach. So let's learn how to answer that question we mentioned earlier on, Profe Val.
Sí, and now we can jump to learn this. How do you answer the question, ¿qué haces en la playa? Or, ¿qué te gusta hacer normalmente en la playa? ¿Qué haces en la playa means, what do you do at the beach? And ¿qué te gusta hacer normalmente en la playa means, what do you like usually to do at the beach?
So let's put some example sentences together with everything we've learned. So we could say things like, en la playa, me gusta nadar en el mar. Let's break that down. At the beach, en la playa, me gusta nadar. Remember, nadar means to swim. En el mar, in the sea. Normalmente, me gusta tomar el sol. Normally, I like to sunbathe. Me gusta hacer un picnic. I like to have a picnic. You could say con mi familia, with my family, con mis amigos, with my friends. Or finally, hacemos castillos de arena. We make sandcastles together.
And just like that, amigos, with these phrases, combining them together with this vocab we've learned and these verbs, you can already describe a great part of the day when going to the beach as a beginner speaker.
That's right. So let's quickly recap everything you've learned. Maybe you want to write it down so it cements in your mind and it's not just another podcast episode that you're listening to. So firstly, you learnt new vocab about la playa, the beach in Espanol. Things like el mar, la arena, la sombrilla, the beach umbrella, y el traje de baño, the swimsuit, the bathing suit. You learnt useful verbs as well. Nadar, to swim. Tomar el sol, to sunbathe. Hacer un picnic, to have a picnic. Hacer castillos de arena, to make sandcastles. Hacer snorkel, to do snorkeling. Or ir a bucear, to go snorkeling. And finally, you learnt how to answer 2 questions. ¿Qué haces en la playa? What do you do at the beach? Y ¿qué te gusta hacer normalmente por la playa? What do you normally like to do at the beach?
Okay, amigos. And just like that, you can already start talking about the things you like to do at the beach with your family, with your friends, and being able to describe it like a pro. That's the main character energy. This is time to put everything we've learned today into our reto de la semana, our challenge of the week. You know that each episode we like you to do activities. So all the information sticks in your mind and you can practice actively. The reto for this week is tell us, ¿qué haces en la playa? What do you do at the beach? Or ¿qué te gusta hacer normalmente en la playa? What do you usually like to do at the beach? Tell us in the comments.
You can start your sentences with me gusta plus a verb of the thing that you like to do in Spanish. Me gusta nadar, me gusta surfear, me gusta hacer un picnic. Whatever it is you like to do, tell us in the comments. And Profe Val will be there to look at your answers and help you out in Spanish if you need.
Pinky promise. Post your answers in the comments or send us a DM on Instagram. We want to celebrate your Spanish wins. And also, you might even get a shout out in an upcoming episode. And talking about shout outs, we got a shout out for this week.
We do. And our shout out this week goes to our Spanglish friend Maya, who commented on one of our mini reels on Instagram. And she said, Estoy feliz escuchar, which means I'm excited to be listening. Oh, that's a great sentence. Welcome, Maya.
Bienvenida, amiga. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for supporting us. And thank you all you guys for listening to us today.
Nice. And a spoiler alert for next week, we have our first ever collab episode that Val and I have been working on very hard behind the scenes, which we're very excited to bring to you. And this is going to be with Savin from Elefrente, a channel which is all about beginner Spanish learning as well. And we're going to be talking all about friendships en español.
Friendships with a friend. Also, I'm so excited to have our first guest in our episode, in our show. Super excited, and we're looking forward to having this new episode. Amigos, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for listening to us. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode, made with love for you.
Have a great week, friends. Que tengan una semana linda. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, amigos. Thanks for listening to Spanglish Friends. We're both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us, leave a rating, or tell a friend about the show. It helps our awesome community grow.
Join fellow beginner Spanish learners by following us on Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_Friends.
Congratulations on taking another step in your Spanish learning journey.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.